How do you begin to solve it?
Well, I think the biggest problem facing us today,
Is that working? It was working, Paul.
okay,
There we go.
So I'm starting with 90 seconds.
Yes, sir, I got you.
This has happened before. I think the biggest problem facing us, the one single problem, is traffic through the middle of downtown Athens. As most of you probably know, the John Street highway, if you say, has caused a lot of problems, a lot of concern among people. And I just want to take a moment in talking about that particular project, that I want to keep the downtown area walkable, a place where we can have community. And I understand that we need to make John Street better, but we don't have to ruin our town to do it. And I think that the important thing is for us as a community to work together to come with a united front to DOT with a solution that we can work with, that we can all be happy with, and provide that to them, and then push in that direction for those type of improvements to be done. DOT owns that road like many roads in Matthews, and we can't do a lot with those roads other than to work with them. So John Street's a perfect example of where we need to go to DOT and make our concerns
10 seconds.
and make what our vision is for that street known to them, and then push in that direction.
Thank you, sir. And Reverend Whitley, your first question out of the bowl. What can leaders do to gain and sustain trust between the public and the police department?
Thank you, Bill. What I think the public can do, or leaders can do to gain the trust of a police officer, and glad it came to me because I am a former police officer. One thing I found was that they have to be accessible. Police officers have to be friendly and know the people where they are working. Neighborhood policing has always been good. I live just a throw block from here. I've been here for a while, and I knew that when you come in contact with people, but you want to treat people fair. Everybody's fair. I remember when I was patrolling, and I stopped some people with not so well income. I always addressed everybody that I stopped as Mr. and Mrs. I had a car full of kids, and I knew that a ticket would give them a hard time. But sometimes they need a break. Sometimes the law can uphold. But being able to be accessible and make sure that you're treated fair, and that all people are treated fair. Not only that, but in the police department, make sure that every officer has an opportunity to advance, to be able to move up in the rank. I just don't believe that people take a career job and never want to accelerate. I just believe that it should be possible where
10 seconds.
females, males, and people of color should have the same opportunity to advance in the police department. But number one is being able to be communicated.
All right, thank you. Mr. Bailey, mix these up. Okay. Your next question will be, where should dense housing be located, and should those areas incorporate apartments, upscale townhomes, or other housing?
Well, I think the dense apartments, condos, etc., should be along those roads and traffic corridors that allow people to move into and out of Charlotte. I think they also ought to exist along the light rail system. I think that I said the other night, for those who were at the other forum, I'm not really in favor of apartments. I like to have people owning their homes And I think that we need to ensure that we've got workforce housing in place so that we can have police officers who work here, live here, many of them can, and people who work at the hospital able to live in our town. But the primary area for these high densities is going to be along Independence Boulevard and along the Silver Line that will come in near the Sportsplex. The other area where we need to consider higher density is around the downtown area. I think it's important to stick with our vision that we've had for many years to ensure that we've got enough population in the downtown area to support the grocery store, to support businesses, and to have a lively downtown. And when I say that, I'm talking about, again, ownership by individuals and, upper scale type housing in the downtown area.
Okay, thank you. Reverend Whitley, your next question is, what steps should Matthews take to become more bicycle and pedestrian friendly?
I think as we build these new roads that are coming into the town, that you must have a walk and a bike friendly lane where they can travel. We have a lot of bikers in Matthews, and they come by my church. I see them as they travel, and there's not a bike lane for them. So one thing I would always encourage is that as we add new roads, to make sure that we have walkways and bikeways, let that be included in the design, so that whenever we finish, then we will be able to take care of all our pedestrians and take care of all our bikers who travel. I see our former mayor travels a lot on bike. I see him several times as he traveled through, and I stopped a couple of weeks ago. He was at a stoplight. We talked about the need, and he was crossing 74. I said a little prayer for him as he went across there. But nevertheless, we have to have walkways and bike accessibility as we design new roads.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bailey. Okay. Mr. Bailey, your next question. The town is currently evaluating a rezoning project that would replace a trailer park with upscale apartments. How can town leaders ensure Matthews is free from the effects of gentrification?
Well, I think that it's important for folks to realize that when a rezoning occurs, it's the property of the individual who owns it. The town is not responsible, nor is it legally able to interfere with the contracts that exist between the owner of that property and people who may live on that property. And therefore, when that rezoning petition comes in, regardless of what we believe we want to do personally, we have to follow the law and we have to follow our zoning conditions. So in that particular case, for that piece of property, it's important to realize that although we do have some concerns about the people that do live there, that we cannot interfere with that as a town. That's between the owner of the property and the people that live in those trailers and the contracts that they have. Now, the backside of that, as far as being in office, is to be able to work with developers and other landowners, etc., to find solutions for those folks, to find a different place for them to live, or to work with the property owner to see if there could be some delay in the development of that property. That's the part that you do as a representative of the town. So I know a lot of people have wanted the town to interfere with this, so to speak, on a zoning basis. but that's not possible.
10 seconds.
It shouldn't be done.
Reverend Whitley, your question is, how can Matthews retain its small-town charm in light of a fast-growing population?
That's a good question, Bill, because Matthews is a great town to live in, and a lot of people want to come here. But we have done a great job in preserving our downtown to keep it that old town feel. As you travel all over the state of North Carolina, you don't see many towns that have that anymore, where you can go downtown and eat dinner, walk from place to place. But the thing that we have to keep in mind that change is inevitable. And if we say that we are the best town in town, people are going to want to come here. So it is a good place, and so as they come here, we don't have much more space downtown, so what we have to do is preserve what we do have downtown and make sure that stays where it's accessible for people that can get out and be able to enjoy our downtown Matthews.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Daly, your last question this evening. How prepared should the town be for a railroad accident?
This is something that I brought up probably 10 years ago when I was on the council. And we do have a plan in place in the event of a major railroad accident. But my concern is that we're not exercising the practice drills in preparation for that. I've got 39 years in the nuclear industry. We go through practice drills once a month. We have a quarterly major drill, and we do an annual drill with the state and federal folks involved in it. And it's practice, practice, practice. Because if you get good at the little things, then you're going to be able to handle the big event. And my concern with trains going through downtown, you watch, there's tanker cars, there's a lot of hazardous material that comes through town. And if one of those train cars should jump the track and begin to leak, then we're going to have a problem. And the last thing we need is mass chaos. So in that event, I think that the town manager and the employees, along with the county, need to have quarterly or semi-annual practice drills to go through the motions and make sure everyone understands what their job is, what they're accountable for, and what needs to be done in the event we do have an accident downtown.
Thank you, sir. Reverend Whitley, your question is, how should town leaders balance modern-day growth with preserving the historic aspects of the town of Matthews?
You know, we have a historic district, and it's been preserved very well and is sectioned out. It is that part there of town that we have made sure that it stayed historic. Modern day is coming all around us. Its growth is so fast as you look around on every corner that you have growth that's coming in. So what we do is this, Bill, we keep what we got, make sure that it's preserved, and also we limit and make sure that we have nice places for people to live. We have upscale apartments and houses that are coming, but we have very few affordable homes for people that don't make high-end salaries. I think the town has to look somewhere down the road at affordable housing. I heard somebody say other night at one of the forums, police officers work in town, but they can't afford some of the apartments